Hey artists, today we're going to draw and paint this gnome. Make sure you have a pencil, an eraser, a Sharpie, watercolor paper, watercolor paint, a glass of water, paintbrushes, and a paper towel. It's important to have the correct supplies for this style painting, especially the watercolor paper and the Sharpie. Let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm going to start with my pencil, and we're going to start right in the middle of the paper with an oval nose for this gnome. Kind of like that. All right, and then from there, we're going to start just about here. So we have a little circle coming about this far from the nose. Doesn't have to be exact. And then we're going to draw in this flower. So you can see I'm just kind of making these oval shapes off of that circle in the middle there, just like that. All right, and then from there, we're going to connect this flower to this nose. And then from there, about here. So this is what you have so far. All right, and then from there we're going to start drawing in this hat. So we're going to swoop up, around, and down to a point. And then let's come back, swoop around, and then meet over here. I might even pull this in a little bit like that. All right, so it should look like this. Okay. We're going to draw in some bunny ears on this gnome. He's a little Easter gnome. So we have two little lines like this, that kind of like holes in the hat. And then we're going to draw these bunny ears. Swoop up, around, and back down. And then draw that inside part. And then we're going to do the same on this side. Up and down, and then the inside part, up and down. We're going to draw a little squiggly on this hat. I'm going to pull that out just a little bit so that we can see it better. All right, and then you can go ahead and take your eraser and draw these extra lines that are now inside of the ear, because we want the ear to be over top of the hat. We don't want to forget when we go in with our marker to not color those. All right, I drew stripes on this hat over here. I think for this one I'm going to draw some polka dots. You can draw whatever design you want on your gnome's hat. Maybe little flowers or hearts or Easter bunnies or eggs, whatever you think would look nice. All right, so this one has some polka dots. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil and draw a little oval here. This is the gnome's hand, which will be holding the flower, so we're going to bring a stem down, 2 lines down, and then 2 lines down, and then connect. Then we're going to draw 2 leaves coming off. Just a swoop up, and then a line, kind of like that. All right, from there we're going to start drawing in his beard. So we're going to connect here, and then kind of draw some zigzags, coming to a point, and then back up on this side, like that. I drew in a couple little squigglies inside of his beard just to show some texture. Okay, then we are going to draw in his feet. So we want kind of a curve, flatten it out down here, and then connect. And then we're going to do the same on this side. Those are his feet. And then we're going to draw his other arm. So line down, connect, and then just his little hand back there, kind of hiding behind his boot there. All right, and then we're going to draw some lines for the grass, just some up and down squiggly lines. All right, I think I'm all done with my pencil, so I'm going to grab my Sharpie next, and I'm going to go over all of those pencil marks with my Sharpie. You can make these outside lines a little bit thicker, like the bunny ears. Anything that's closer to you should be a little bit thicker, and then little details like this and the little lines on the leaves, they can stay thinner. All right, once I go ahead over with my Sharpie, we will move to the next step. Okay, I'm all done with my Sharpie, so I'm going to go ahead and take my eraser and erase any pencil marks that I can still see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and grab my paper towel and my paintbrush, and we can go ahead and start painting. All right, I'm going to make this gnome over here a little bit different than my first gnome because I did polka dots, so I might just make everything a little bit different. I'm going to start with the inside of the bunny's ear, or the gnome's bunny ears, I guess. So we're going to fill in this pink with a very light pink. You can make it a little bit darker near the bottom here. So I went ahead and just filled that in with a light pink, and then I'm adding this darker and kind of blending it in a little. Then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Whoop. If you get too much paint, just add some water and then blend it on down. And there you go. It's not so dark anymore. Okay, and then we'll just blend it up like that so that there's a bit of a shadow here at the bottom. Okay, all right, I'm going to go ahead and stick to a pink flower. So I'm going to grab that pink again, same color that we were using, and I'm going to keep it darker near the middle part of the flower. So you can kind of see filling in that darker portion first, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my water and we're going to blend it up with water. Fill it all in, but it'll keep that darker near the middle there. Okay, there's my pink flower. Maybe I'll even do, oh, we'll keep going with some other colors. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my tan color now for the gnome's nose and his hands. So I'm just going to grab some tan and blend that in and keep it a little darker near the bottom. So I filled all that in and now I'm adding some darker. Okay, and then we're going to do the same exact thing with the two hands here. We're going to keep it darker at the bottom and lighter as we go up. For this hand back here, you can make that one a little bit darker everywhere because it is behind everything here. So that means it'll probably have some more shadows. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start on the grass next, I think. So I'm going to take some water, and what I'm going to do is just add that into my picture here. Just going to make it wet where I'm going to want the grass. So you can see at the bottom of my painting here, it kind of just blends out. There's no perfect line, and you can do the same thing with yours. I'm going to go ahead and grab this green here and start filling that in, and since it's already wet, it'll kind of blend a little bit itself. So you do that for the whole thing. And then you can add some more dark underneath of him and underneath his feet because there will be a big shadow there. And then if you have a hard line here, all you have to do is add some more water, kind of blend it down, just like that. While I have my green, I'm going to go ahead and fill in the leaves of the flower. So I'm going to take this, just fill that in there. All right, and then make it a little bit darker here at the bottom and along the hand here. You're going to do the same for this side. Darker along the bottom and by the hand. And then also the stem coming down here. Make sure to fill that in too. All right, now I'm going to move to his hat. So I think for his hat, I'm going to go ahead and use a yellow color for this part. So again, I'm doing this one a lot different than I'm doing the first one. And that just shows that you can make this picture any way that you want and it's still going to be nice. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in with the yellow I'm going to keep it a little bit darker here behind these ears, as the ears will be making a shadow. Right in here I'll be darker, and right in here I'll be darker. I'm trying to avoid the polka dots because I don't want those yellow. I want to make those a different color. So if you were doing stripes, you would still make it a little bit darker back there, but you can see it's a little darker here, a little darker here and here, but I also kind of made it darker along the edges and lighter in the middle. So that's kind of what I'm doing on this side too. I'm keeping a little darker on the edges and lighter coming down the middle. That just makes it look like the hat is more rounded. I'm going to keep it darker behind his nose where there would be a shadow. Okay, and back here behind the flower would also be a shadow. While you have your yellow, you can go ahead and fill in the middle part of that flower. Just a simple fill in, and then I'm going to also add yellow to his sleeve here. So darker by his beard and lighter as you come out. All right. Oh, I missed part of his hat here. Okay. All right, and then next I'm going to grab my smaller brush and I'm going to work on his beard here. So we want his beard to look pretty white, but we also want it to look a little bit 3D. So what I'm going to do is just fill in a little tiny bit of water right at the bottom here, and then grab some gray and go over it just a tiny bit. That just gives it a little bit of shadow to his beard. You can grab more water and kind of blend it out if you feel like you're getting too much. And then also right at these up and down spots, you can add a little bit of gray. And then if you need to spread it out a little, just add a little bit of water. I'm going to add a little bit of gray right under his nose too, where there would be a shadow. And also right behind the flower is also going to be a little bit of a shadow. So you can see over here I have a good bit of gray back here. It's because it'd be pretty dark back there. But we still want it to look white. All right, so just like that. I think I'm happy with his beard. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the polka dots, which I think I am going to do purple. I'm just going to grab some purple. If your polka dot's along the edge, you go ahead and make that just a little bit darker near the edge. And then pull it out like that. And then if it's in the middle, you can just make it a little bit light. So kind of want it more this color rather than that color. Okay, I'm just going to fill in all those spots. And then again, his nose is going to be casting a shadow, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of a darker purple, excuse me, here. And then right here, maybe a little bit darker here. And then right along this edge, again, darker right along here. Same here. And then here is behind the flower, so definitely want it a little bit darker back there. All right, I'm also going to add purple to this pom-pom looking thing at the end of his hat. One more spot to fill in. You can just kind of keep messing with it until you're happy. I think I'm good with that. I'm going to move on to his shoes, which I think I'm also going to make purple. So I'm going to fill this in with a little bit of water, grab some purple, and we want it darker along his beard and at the bottom. So these two spots should be the darkest points. I'm going to go ahead and add some more, and then I'm going to start blending that. May have gotten a little bit of extra water there, so if you get too much water, you can pick it up and put it on your paper towel. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead to the other side. And again, we want it darker along the bottom and by his beard. Also here behind the flower, that would be making a shadow. So these should be the darkest points. This should be the lightest over here. I'm just going to blend that. Okay, just like that. All right, I think I'm all done with my Easter gnome. If you enjoyed doing this art project with me, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to see when I release new videos. I would love to make art with you again soon. Most importantly, keep creating. I'll see you next time. Bye.